The moment I heard her laughter, soft, breathless, and unfamiliar, I knew something had changed. It wasn't the laugh of a wife sharing a private joke with her husband. It was lighter, freer, and it didn't belong to me anymore. It started 2 months earlier when Ava came home from a relationship retreat with her friend Maya. She'd walked in with a strange new confidence, tossing her hair like she'd finally figured out the secret to happiness. "Ethan," she'd said, her tone bright but rehearsed, "we need to talk about opening our marriage." At first, I thought she was joking. We'd been married 8 years. We'd built a life together, through debt, miscarriages, her job loss, and my burnout. I stared at her, waiting for the smirk, the punchline, but it never came. She sat across from me, calm as if discussing dinner plans. "We love each other," she said, "but I think we've lost the spark. This could help us reconnect. You know, explore without hurting each other." The word explore echoed like a crack in glass. I wanted to say no. I wanted to scream that I wasn't some experiment in self-discovery. But her eyes, those pleading, restless eyes, broke me. I'd seen that look before, the one she gave when she was already halfway gone. I thought saying yes might keep her here. The first few weeks were a blur of pretending. I told myself it was just an idea, something she'd tire of once the novelty faded. But then she started dressing differently, shorter skirts, softer perfume, lipstick that wasn't her shade. And her phone, it was always face down. I didn't ask questions. Maybe I didn't want answers. Then one night, she came home smelling of smoke and expensive whiskey. She dropped her purse on the counter, eyes glassy but smiling. "It's working," she said. "I feel alive again." Alive. The word twisted inside me like a knife. That night, I lay awake beside her, staring at the ceiling, my chest tight with something between fury and despair. I'd given her permission, but not immunity. And yet, as I listened to her steady breathing, I realized something cold and liberating. If she could do it, so could I. That's how I found myself answering a message from her sister, Lila. Lila was Ava's opposite, softer, quieter, but with eyes that seemed to read right through people. She'd always been kind to me, in a way that made Ava roll her eyes. We met for coffee, just to talk, I told myself. But talking turned into lingering touches, and touches turned into something I didn't plan and couldn't stop. When I told Lila about Ava's open marriage, she froze. She said what? I nodded. She wanted to explore. So I'm exploring. Her expression was unreadable. Then, almost whispering, she said, "If this is revenge, Ethan, don't use me for it." "It's not," I lied. "It was. At least at first." But Lila had this way of seeing me, the me I'd buried under compromise and quiet resentment. With her, I didn't feel like the man being pitted or replaced. I felt wanted. So, when I invited her to the resort, a 5-star oceanfront place Ava had always dreamed of visiting, I wasn't thinking straight. I just wanted to feel something real again. The air there smelled like salt and jasmine. Waves rolled softly against the shore, and Lila's laughter mixed with the sound of the sea. For 2 days, I forgot about betrayal, about open marriages and bruised egos. For 2 days, it felt like healing. Then Ava showed up. I'll never forget the moment I saw her standing by the pool, her sunglasses trembling in her hand, mascara streaked from tears she must have tried to hide. "So this is your version of exploring?" she asked, voice shaking. Guests nearby went silent. Lila stood beside me, pale, her eyes full of regret. I tried to speak, but the words tangled in my throat. "You took my sister." Ava's voice cracked. "You ruined everything just to get back at me." "Ruined?" I said quietly. "You opened the door, Ava. I just walked through it." Her face crumpled. "I wanted to save us." "No," I said. "You wanted permission to leave without feeling guilty." There it was, the truth neither of us could deny. She didn't cry for me. She cried because she finally saw the reflection of her own cruelty. Later, after she stormed off, Lila sat beside me on the balcony. The sky was bruised purple, the horizon melting into night. "She'll never forgive me," she whispered. "Neither will I," I said. though I wasn't sure which one of us I meant. When I returned home alone, the house felt foreign. Her things were gone. Only the faint scent of her perfume lingered, like an echo of a life that no longer fit. For weeks, I replayed everything: her laughter, her excuses, the way I'd mistaken permission for freedom. I realized the betrayal hadn't begun at the resort. It began the moment we started keeping score. We both wanted to escape something broken. She ran toward newness, I ran toward revenge. In the end, all we did was destroy the last fragile thread between us. Months later, I saw her again at a family gathering. She looked thinner, quieter, like someone who'd learned the hard way that freedom has a cost. We didn't speak much. Just a brief nod across the room, a silent acknowledgement that we'd both gone too far. As I walked away, I caught Lila's eyes on me. Sad, distant, almost apologetic. That's when it hit me. None of us had really won. We'd just traded love for the illusion of choice, and in doing so, lost both.